Welcome to this week's new episode. We have many exciting things for you. In the new old games reviews, we have Frontier Force for the Sega Master System, a new exciting game, and Lazerball for the STE. In the MS-DOS Vault, we are reviewing one of the better FPS and overlooked games, CyberMage, and the quirky and funny Pantsmo's Pantaloon adventure. In the hardware review, we have a double feature with a ZXHD Interface and Lotharek Kempston joystick interface for the ZX Spectrum. Finally, in our history lesson, we look into the exciting secret story of Rare's and Stumber Brothers' Game Boy. Well, the Game Boy that could have been. So join us into another exciting episode for the love of retro. Let's go! Hello and welcome to this week's new old games reviews. Now this week we have for you Lazerball, a game for the STE series of computers by Atari. Now the game is made by Thomas Ilg, if I'm saying the name correctly, with levels designed by Ulrich Ilg. It's not a new release, it is a 2015 version that has been brought recently to its.io. It's a game that's based on the premise of the famous puzzle game Deflector and partially to games like Puzznik. It's a really smart game where you have to align the lasers by moving the mirrors as well, and that's a big difference with the classic Deflector game. And try to make it hit the exit point, which in this game is a red sphere. Now you can move your mirrors in 4 directions just by holding down the right mouse button and pointing at the direction the arrow shows. The controls are very easy. When you left click on a mirror, it rotates. Usually this rotation, there. That's how you complete a level. Of course, the faster you complete the level, the better bonus you receive. And also there is a timer on some rounds. I mean, this one has an added plus that there is no timer to finish it. In some rounds there is an added plus, like I said, maybe a difficulty factor or a bonus factor that will help you or hinder you in solving the puzzle. The game is very easy to control. The graphics are, well, they're good and functional. They're not something to write home about, but I don't think that this is needed in a Deflector style game. I mean, you can tell what the graphics represent, and that's enough for me in games like this. They are colorful, the sound, the music, everything is of a high standard, so what matters in puzzle games like this is, of course, if the premise is addictive and if the game is good enough, and this one is more than good. Needs a little effort. I'm usually good at these games, but I haven't played a Deflector kind of game in quite some time. So let's get this one here, and there you go. No time constraint, no time bonus. Fair enough. There, time infinite means that there is no time limit here. Now there's always a hint at the bottom of the stage, like this one, how to open that door, giving you a clue that that so-called door is basic to the solution, of the puzzle. So you have to focus your efforts on that door. And we have to obviously point the laser at that door there. And now we have to utilize that puzzle, that laser. Now, as I said, the graphics are simple but functional. They do their job. The animation is quite good. The game, for a puzzle game, moves pretty fast. The puzzles are well thought out. Some of them are devilishly smart, or just devilish. I do enjoy a good puzzle game. Alright, I think I got it. Just gotta move. Okay. See, you get stuck in games like this, and even though your mind blocks sometimes, and you have the solution, as we say, at the edge of your tongue. No. Okay, I think I got it now. Just even so, you get stuck, and it's one of those games that we call one more round. There, I'm pretty sure. No. Anyways, I'm not gonna drag you into my madness here. It is a very well designed game. I definitely recommend it if your poison are puzzle games. It's called Lazerball. It's I have to point out here that I had some trouble running the game on a simple ST, but it did run with no problems on a STE with at least 1 megabyte of RAM. So maybe you want to take notice of that. And I do recommend it. As always, it's a solid effort. And let's move on to our next game, Frontier Force. Now, Frontier Force is a game for the Sega Master System. It's made by Bad Computer, which is a very cool name for a software team. It's based on a couple of familiar premises. First off, the classic Space Invaders. Also Galaga and Galaxian. For some reason also, it reminds me of Pang and Cabal. Now you have an arsenal of weapons to stop the invasion here. The game is a bit hard. No, actually the game is really hard. You have to move fast, you have to aim right. Oh, there I go. The graphics are very good for the Sega Master System. I did notice some flickering, which is not a rare occurrence on Sega Master System, but it's not that often, and oh dear. And given the fact that there are many sprites at the same time on the screen with a very fast animation, and the very good backgrounds, and if you notice, the parallax scrolling behind of the sky. Let's continue. Let's give it one more go. I'd say that the game's graphics are very good. They're well animated. The sound, the music, everything is very good. It's one of those games that I say that if they came out back in the day, they would be, you know, the star review of the month in all the magazines. There you go, big gun. There is a variety of enemies, not that big, but still. The rounds change if you manage to survive one of the stages. Practice makes perfect in a game like this, and the more you play, the better you become. There's another weapon in our arsenal. There is a counter upstairs on the upper side of the screen that shows how much ammunition you have for that left, or for the bombs. The laser is infinite. You do get more weapons later on. There I go again, along with civilization. Let's give it one more go, using more of the special laser. It's a fast game. It's a fun game. It will only set you back $5, and it's definitely worth it. There's also stages with big bosses. It's good that there is a new Sega Master System game out. We don't see many Sega Master System new games lately, and I'm really glad that we have this one. I definitely recommend it because it's a fast game that needs skills. It's very fun. It's very well made. It has smart gameplay that combines the gameplay of many classic games, and I think you will enjoy it. And I'll see you next time in the new old games reviews, and we'll move on to our next section. Hello and welcome to this week's hardware review. Now, this week we have a double feature of two excellent devices for your ZX Spectrum series of computers. Now, the first one is this one. It's the ZXHD HDMI interface for the ZX Spectrum series. Now, this is an excellent device sold by Pantaloon, and it's built by Ben Versteg, if I'm not pronouncing the name in the wrong way. It has some amazing features, truly amazing features. It provides the ZX Spectrum with an HDMI interface. It also comes with the ULA Plus, so you can play some games, convert live and play games in 64 colors. It supports the ZX Spectrum's 128 video memory. The image coming out of it is truly amazing. You will not believe that this is a ZX Spectrum. It has a mini HDMI interface, and this is the memory card, the SD card for the firmware that you can upgrade through the site of Pantaloon. It's compatible with almost every model of official ZX Spectrums, ranging from the 16K all the way up to Plus 3, and some clones and the Harlequin kits. Also, it does not come assembled when it's sent to you. It's in pieces, but assembling it is truly easy. Now, our second hardware today is this one. It's the Kempston Max from Lotharek It's an interface resembling the classic Kempston interface for the ZX Spectrum, but providing in 2 joystick ports and all the functions of all the known joystick interfaces for the ZX Spectrum into one kit for Kempston, Sinclair, ProTech, etc. Now, it's very easy to use, it's very efficient, and both devices have a pass-through connector, meaning that, as you can see, when you plug in the device, you do not disable the expansion port of ZX Spectrum, but you can use the extension here and here to connect another interface. We'll talk about this and what works and what not with both of them in a minute. So, we should begin with this one and see how it works. Let's go. Now, once you boot up your ZX Spectrum, this is the welcome screen you see. Now, it's very important, I have to note here, that you turn on your monitor or your TV before booting up ZX Spectrum. That's because the system of the ZXHD will scan the output to reset the board in order to synchronize it in the appropriate signal. Now, as you can see, there's not much to it. The picture is really clear and solid. In order to start, we have to push the reset button on the ZXHD. And here we go. As you can see, the image is sharp and really clear. And everything works perfectly. Now, pushing the reset button once more will get you back to the main ZX Spectrum menu. That is the reset button on the board. Pushing the reset button on the board, that is. Now, in order to go back to the main menu, you have to turn off your ZX Spectrum and turn it back on. There you go. It's really easy to use. There's not much to it. You do need a Raspberry Pi Zero along with it in order for it to work. What does that mean? Alright, let me make this perfectly clear so as to avoid any misconception. Now, you do need a Raspberry Pi Zero board for the ZXHD to work. Now, you can provide your own, which is a very cheap piece of equipment, or you can order it along with the ZXHD from Buy to Light. Also, the Raspberry Pi Zero needs to have a pre-soldered pin header. There is a connector on the ZXHD board ready, so you don't need to do any soldering there. Make sure to order one with a pre-soldered pin header if you have no experience with soldering. It really doesn't raise the price a lot. It's a very cheap piece of equipment, and I believe that you should order it along with the ZXHD. So, as you can see, it's very easy to use. It provides 64 colors with the implementation of the ULA Plus. It works with any other device that you can connect through the throughout edge connector. And let's move along to use and review our next piece of hardware. Now, the Lotharek interface is also very easy to plug in. All you have to do is plug it in your Spectrum like this on the board, and that's it. Now, like I said before, there is a pass-through option. We can put the ZXHD interface that we've seen earlier and plug it there, or the other way around, which is a bit more logic but not so pretty. As you can see, it's stable. It's really stable, no worries. But you can always, do this, which is solid stable now. Now, found no incompatibilities with the joystick. The joystick port, it works perfectly in any option, as you've seen. I must also note here, as far as the ZXHD interface is concerned, that there is compatibility with the Div MMC Enjoy and Div MMC Enjoy Mini interfaces for the ZX Spectrum, but there is a dip switch on the Div MMC devices that needs to be switched off in order for it to work. Also, I had no problems running other interfaces for the ZX Spectrum whilst having the ZXHD plugged in. The same goes for the Lotharek Kempston Max interface. No problems whatsoever. Well, once our game is loaded, all we have to do is choose, let's say, Kempston. And as you can see, the game works. No problems. Now I'll try to lose here. There you go. Rest in peace down there. And there. Oh dear. I think I've fallen into an infinite lives version. What you gonna do? There we go. Now, you can press the button on the interface to change to, let's say, Sinclair. And you're good to go afterwards. Now, these two devices are truly great pieces of hardware for your ZX Spectrum. If you're an avid gamer, a collector, or a Spectrum lover, I cannot recommend these two enough. They're both excellent pieces of hardware. The Lotharek Kempston Max will make your life really easy as far as the joystick choices go. It's easy to use. It's very, very well built. You can see the high quality, sturdy piece of printed here. The button is very well built. There is this rubber feet here in order to put it on the table when connected with no problems. The ZXHD, as I said in the beginning, you assemble it yourself. The assembly is really simple. In the package, there's everything you need. There's a Phillips screwdriver to assemble it. Scratch that. I had a special package. You need a Phillips screwdriver. The screws are in there. The cell, the backplate. They include, of course, the SD card with the firmware. You can always download the newest firmware from by Delight. This is the reset button. It's a very well-made device. The plastic case is well designed, well built. It fits perfectly. ZX Spectrum is a machine that it's a bit, neglected as far as its output, its TV output signal. It didn't came with an RCA cable and connectors like many newer machines. Of course, in the market there are many cables that can help you connect it to a SCART or an RCA, but this is something unique, and the quality of picture, as you saw, is amazing. It's like running the ZX Spectrum games on an emulator, and even better, I dare say. I recommend both devices strongly. They are really worth it, and I will see you next time with another hardware review for our beloved retro computers. Welcome to this week's DOS Vault. We begin with a personal favorite classic MS-DOS game, CyberMage by Origin. Now this game, for me, did not receive the recognition it should back in the day. It was an excellent alternative to Doom and all its clones at the time. Unfortunately, it was oversighted by many magazines of the time. It did came a bit late in the life of the first generation of FPSs. Too close maybe to the presentation of Quake and the more evolved games like Duke Nukem 3D. It came out at the fourth quarter of 1995. It was an exclusive to the MS-DOS systems. The creator of the game was David W. Bradley. He worked on the Wizardry games. He created this game as a personal experiment initially in order to learn the fairly new at the time 3D technology. Now the game is presented in a comic book-like form. This is our hero, CyberMage. It utilizes a unique engine, and the graphics for the time are amazing. You can control the game with a mouse, a keyboard and a joystick. I found the mouse almost impossible to control. The joystick is combined with a keyboard. You cannot do everything with a joystick, Granted that the joysticks back in those days for the PC were quite basic. They were joysticks, literally, not gamepads. Now the graphics, like I said, for the time being, are wonderful. They are some of the best early FPS engines you can find out there. There is floor above floor. You can climb up ladders, as you can see here. You have two kinds of weapons. The energy weapons that come from the crystal that our hero has and will be upgraded later on. These clouds grant us a form of mana. Oh, this lady talks for a while, so let's just skip ahead. It gives us our mission. There we go. And also it replenishes a part of our energy. There are also two more kinds of weapons. There's melee weapon that we can attack up close, and there is blasters of various kinds. There, now this cloud that looks like a skull replenished our mana power here, upgraded our power. This is a melee weapon, the power blade. You have to hold down the weapon and release it close to the target in order for it to work, to attack. As you can see, the colors are bright in accordance to the comic book style. There we go. Like I said, you cannot play the game with a joystick alone. To open the door, I have to press Enter. The game nowadays has a few issues. You must have noticed that the FPS rate is kind of low in full screen mode. That is because it utilizes a Super VGA engine very early. This is our inventory. Let me tell you about this. You have to hold down one joystick button and then press fire with the other in order to choose. But to exit, you have to press escape, another keyboard function. Now this little dude is one of the scientists that transformed our hero into a super dude. These are the telecoms. A communication system. Will meet a lot of them in the game. There is a very good story behind it. A very scary and interesting bad guy. There is a variety of areas to visit. The game does not get monotonous in its design. Granted that, again, that it's a 1995. A problem that you might face playing with a joystick. I'm low on energy, I have to switch. So another guy. Yes, one was enough. There. Good riddance. Now, a problem that you might have seen me having whilst playing with a joystick is the fact that it is very, very hard to use strafe, because you have to hold your gamepad in one hand, you have to press the basic keys to open doors, you have to press the buttons to fire your weapon. Well, unless you're an octopus, it's kind of hard to use the strafe mode. Now we're gonna have to release this buddy later on. Now, like I said, because of the engine's age and the way it functions, full screen works on a low FPS rate, even nowadays in our mighty machines. On the other hand, we'll show you later. There you go. That's how melee weapons work. There. Now, if you scale down the screen, even once, one step, the game becomes way too fast, I would say. The game is fast, normally. Get over here. I wouldn't suggest I was out of energy and I wanted to show you the melee weapon. I don't suggest attacking these dudes with a melee weapon. Now, we got our first pistol. It's a blaster that we can use. We got enough ammunition to spend. I wish that's the save system. It's plain classic. You can save at any time and load the game at any time. I wish the blasts from our weapons were a little more clear. The game does feature an auto-aim to a certain extent, meaning that if an enemy is above or below us, the weapon will aim at him, and even in a straight line it will, well, relatively attack him there, using some auto-aim, but not too much, as you can see. Let's go up here. The music, the sound effects, the speech is excellent. I did not find an option, for those of you who struggle with English, to have speech and text at the same time. Maybe it's a hidden function, I didn't find it. There. See how accelerated the move became? Now, like I said, the music, the graphics, the sound are all excellent. This is a CD game. It was actually one of the first CD games I bought in my life for my PC back in those days. And I was really impressed with it. Because at that time we've all been fed up. We had enough of the Doom clones that wouldn't do something special, and I think Duke Nukem 3D was the last different game, up until the time, of course, that Quake came to stir things up. I do recommend you give it a playthrough. It's a very interesting game. It will keep you occupied. It's a long game. It is kind of hard, mostly because of the outdated controls, but I believe that if you play long enough, you'll get used to it. And it's really worth a playthrough. It's a hidden treasure and an overlooked game, and I definitely recommend it. So let's move on to our new DOS game now. Now I gotta give it to this game. This must be one of the most interesting titles I've ever seen in a video game. It's Pantsmo's Pantaloon Adventure. Well, it's a game about pantaloons. It's based on the classic DOS platformer Cosmos Cosmic Adventure, and from what I found, the creator of the game made it as a joke, or I don't know, a joke, a gift to another developer, and he changed the basic premise to pantaloons. It's a game reminiscent of the classic Apogee games. It's a converted game, let's call it. It's really funny, but beyond humor, the game is really well made. It has all the classic mechanisms of those early Apogee games. The graphics are really colorful. They are the classic style of the early VGA games and EGA games. This one is actually using the EGA palette. You have to collect, well, stars in order to advance to bonus stages. There's also a super bonus stage. Haven't managed to find it. They have secret levels. And you also collect fruits and, well, pants, I guess. You can jump on the enemies, which was, the favorite attack move back in those days because of the all the Mario madness. The game has great catchy tunes for music and good sound effects. The controls are tight, although a bit slippery, but that was the standard back in those days. Just a little bit, nothing tragic, just sometimes. It's much better than many other games of that sort. Oh, there's the stars, lots of stars too. I found that the game has an underlying sense of humor, if I may call it. It's very, very pleasant to play. I do believe that if you love those early days platform games, this will keep you occupied. It's not hard, it's not easy, it's just right. It's good that we have games like this. It's really good because sometimes in simplicity there are hidden miracles, and I believe this is one of them, truly. You also get some special bombs to use later on. You have items that replenish your energy. Of course, lots and lots of pans. I recommend the game. It's been created by Evil Tentacle. That's the info I found. It's for MS-DOS, Windows and Linux. Of course, we are reviewing the MS-DOS version here. I believe it's a fun game, I believe it's worth your time, and you should definitely check it out. And let's move on to our next section. Hello and welcome to this week's history lesson. Now, last week we've spoken about Gunpei Yokoi and his amazing creation, the iconic Game Boy. But did you know that we almost had a different kind of Game Boy made by Rare Software? Yeah, that's right, Rare Software, of the same fame of, the Stumber Brothers and Ultimate Play the Game. Well, when the NES was riding high on success, Gunpei Yokoi started development of the Game Boy. Unbeknownst to them, the Stumber Brothers, thinking of the success of the NES, started developing their own portable console, one, albeit that would run the original NES cartridges in a handheld form. Legend has it that it was named the Playboy. Now, when they completed a prototype, they decided to demonstrate that unit to Nintendo of America. Off they went then, Tim Stamber and Joel Hochberg. Well, it's not that Arakawa and Howard Lincoln of Nintendo of America were not impressed, but as the presentation moved on, they decided to confine with them, granted the fact that Rare Software was one of the most important and close allies that helped Nintendo rise to power. Now, they told them about the creation that Gunpei Yokoi had already designed and had in the prototype phases, and, well, quote-unquote advised them to let go of their own personal project, as it would come into conflict with Nintendo's efforts, plus it would never get the approval of President Yamauchi. Well, that project was buried in the archives of retro history, and, well, we'll never know what could become of it. Of course, we do know that it used the original NES's cartridges, which means it was kinda heavier and bulkier. If the prototype photos that circulated the internet are real, it is significantly bigger. Also, it is told that its energy consumption was nowhere near the miracle that Gunpei Yokoi had achieved with Game Boy. Still, it would be interesting to see an alternative approach to the Game Boy legend, but, well, it was not meant to be, as Nintendo reigns supreme. Join us next week for another interesting, quirky, and funny, maybe, history lesson. Bye! Same time, same channel, same day, next week for the love of retro.